Hello, Dr. Realtor here, giving you a quick synopsis on value. I have before you here a 1004 URAR, which is a Uniform Residential Appraisal Report, and this would just be the sales comparison grid, because today we're going to talk a little bit about residential real estate value. 5-second snapshot about me. I am a retired residential real estate appraiser of 14 years, 4 states in the United States: Ohio, North Carolina, Michigan, Georgia, and I think that's it. Anyway, so hear a lot of people on YouTube talking and social media talking about value, and I think I owe it to my profession to give a better explanation of what value is. Absolutely love real estate and just want to make sure that everybody is clear and everybody is getting a good education out there. So consider myself an educator after 30 some odd years, and just wanted to give some good information. Like I said, first of all, value is the amount that someone is willing to pay for an item, pretty much. And a property does not have value until there is an offer on the table. So what an appraiser does is basically try to compare apples to apples, oranges to oranges. I'm not going to preach, I'm not going to teach too much today, but just wanted to give a really quick understanding. What we do is we go out and we study a neighborhood. A neighborhood is located within a city, within a state, and try to find comparable sales that have actually sold that are very similar or as similar as possible to the subject property. And the first thing we look at is our subject property, highest and best use, which in this situation, like I said, is a single family residential property. So within the same city, hopefully within a 1-mile radius, within the same neighborhood, try to find similar properties. What this appraiser has done is, and mind you, this was pre-corona. It was April of 2019, I believe. And the subject property is 1,331 square feet. Comparable number 1 is 1,336 square feet. Now that's a mirror. Probably why it's comparable number 1. That's pretty much a mirror comparable. Comparable number 2 is 1,400 square feet. And then number 3, wow, is 1,800 square feet. So keeping in mind that this particular property is located in a kind of rural area, it's actually a village where most of the properties are 1 to 3 acres. So it is normal or typical to go a little out of the 1-mile radius if you have to. It looks like comparable number 3 is 1.8 miles. And located in a similar area, which is Woodmere, because they share the same school system and similar taxes. So remember, the factors that affect value are political factors, which would be taxes, and highest and best use, which is a single family residential property zoning, single family residential. And then physical in this situation is the size, the type of property it is. They're looking at Cape Cods and ranches because the subject property is a Cape Cod. Within a 6 to 12 month sales date, and usually within 200 or 300 square feet, depending on the size of the subject property. They went a little out of it with this comparable number 3 at 500 square feet bigger. But what we do is we adjust the comparables to the subject property to make the comparables more similar to the subject. Give you an example here. The subject property, back to that comparable 3, is bigger than the subject property, so they made a $7,000 adjustment for the size. The same thing for the lot size, it looks like. I think that is, yeah. The subject property has 2.5 acres. This property barely has an acre, so they actually added a adjustment of $6,000. But after making the required adjustments to each one of the comparables, they came up with a gross adjustment amount, and the dollar amount on this particular comparable one is $121,000, $100,000, and $136,000. There were 3 more comparables that were utilized, but for the purpose of education in this video, I just want to give a general idea. On the appraisal report itself, it says that they actually utilize several other comparables, 7 in all, to use as reference to determine value. So what is done after the adjustments are made to the comparables, they are all added up and divided by the number of comparables that are utilized to come up with a number, which is called a mean, which is actually just an average. And they utilize that and all relevant market factors to come up with a value. So basically, when you're looking at comparable sales in the area, you're not just looking at, oh, let's see what sold in the neighborhood. You're looking at what sold in that neighborhood that is comparable to that subject property. Know your subject property as much as possible about it, and then look in the neighborhood for something else that is a mirror image of that property. And it will be pretty much easy to determine value. I know a lot of investors say, oh, appraisers are crazy. You can get 10, 20,000 different ranges, in dollar amount or whatever. But it actually should not be that way. There shouldn't be more than a 10% a differential in the amount that is determined. But of course, appraisal is an art, I will admit. It is supposed to be a science, but it is mostly an art. But as an investor, I personally have never been wrong on determining what I think a property is worth, of course, because I have, I guess, the bias of having that experience for years and years and years. And you can give me any property address and I can pretty much head on give you a value. But I want you to be able to do that too by just simply knowing these important relevant factors. We don't just come up with value based on what sold in the area and that's it. It has to be what has sold in the area that is similar to the subject property. And when you look at the reporting, you look at it in a completely different sight. When you see this area right here is my subject and my subject's features. The next set of blocks is my comparable number 1. The next set of blocks here is my comparable number 2. The third set is my comparable number 3. And what I'm doing is I'm utilizing this grid to make the adjustments to the comparable so they can be more comparable to the subject property. And then I come down when I'm done, going across the grid, I'm looking at my adjusted gross amounts, adding them up, dividing them by the number of comparables that I have utilized, and factoring in any other relevant market activity or factors in the area and coming up with a value. I.e., this particular area has a lot of new development and new political factors and economic factors that affect value. There is the new Pinecrest development. Amazon is closed. Amazon is considered as an anchor tenant in the area. Those are relevant market conditions that affect value in this area. Therefore, property values are on the rise. So I hope this video helps. It ended up being 10 minutes. I tried to make it 7. I can't help it. I love to teach. I hope that what I said helped everyone, and I hope to do more videos for you in the future. Thank you for tuning in to Dr. Realtor. For those of you who have not followed my blog or listened to my YouTube or Facebook, Instagram, all social media, please get in on all of the new stimulus and grant information that is out there available to you as business owners. For those of you who are unemployed, there is unemployment, PUA, PUEC, whatever it is, UI, all of the different unemployment that is available. Rent assistance here in Cleveland, CHN, Cleveland Housing Network, has a free grant for rental applicants. I think you can get up to 2 to 3 months of your rent paid. That money is going to run out soon. It's an $18 million grant that just started this week. But tune in to my channel and my page on Facebook, and I try to give as much information as possible as I get it. Again, thank you for tuning in. Dr. Realtor signing off. Take care. Love you guys. Bye.